Hello there and welcome again to my workshop, and welcome to the commissioning of Katie the CNC Router. So this is, I think, video number 15 or 16, something like that, to do with making the kit, designing the kit, and making this CNC conversion to the completion. So the first thing that we are going to do is, and got to make an apology here, I thought my lathe tools, or some of my lathe tools, would fit this lathe, but they don't. They're about 2 millimeters too high above the center line of the machine. So the only tool I can find that will fit it, that I can get it in there to start doing something, is this boring bar actually. So I'm going to put this in here and pack it up and bring it up to the center height of the lathe, and we are going to then set the limits. And I'll show you how to do that and set the limit switches up, and well, I think you'll get the idea, and we will then continue through then, and we'll start using some of the wizards in Mach3. And that is one of the main reasons actually I designed this whole project, because there's a lot of people out there that's been asking me about Mach3 turn. So I decided that I would do a full conversion, show you how to do it, and use it then as a teaching aid to show you how to use Mach3 turn and also Fusion 360 turn. Okay, so we'll get on with the first job. Hopefully you can just about pick that up. It's about an 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters too low above the center height of the center height of the machine there. So I've got to pack it up till it's right on center there. Okay, hopefully you can see that a little better now. Let's put a bit of yellow card in behind there. Let's just sneak this up, and I think you'll agree with me that that's pretty well bang on center height. Now this is going to serve two purposes, because not only are we making the tool on center height, but we're going to zero the X, because the X0 is always going to be the center line of the lathe. So let me just get around the other side and I can check to see whether that's central, and I'll bring you back in a minute and we'll zero this. Okay, so we're in the manual mode at the moment. I'll just show you a few things. This here is the pendant in Mach3 turn. Now to get that up on the screen, make it disappear, you just press the tab key on your computer, like so. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to set the X0 value. Okay, so we are in program coordinates, and it will never change. The center line of the lathe will always be X0. So we are going to zero that. And you notice the DROs up here have changed to 0. This one here is the distance from the home switch. So what we're going to do now is take the machine to the home switches. As you can see now, the lathe has homed itself. So now we're going to give it some limits. You may notice that Mach3 turn is set in radius mode. Now I personally like diameter mode, so I'm just going to take you now and show you where to change that, and there's also a few other things for you to note. So it's ports and pins all the way down here, turn options. Now this is where you change to diameter mode, and if you have done a conversion or you have a CNC lathe, anything like this, you must have this box ticked here. And what this says is reverse arcs in front tool post. I'll give you a little bit of explanation about that in a second. Okay, what that actually means is you are telling Mach3 that the tool is in front of the tool post and the region of which the tool post is, because normal CNC machines, the tool post is over on this side, or it has a turret over on this side, and that within Mach3 wizards, which we'll come to a little bit later, of course with the tool post being on the opposite side of the machine, all the arcs are reversed. So that's what you're telling Mach3. We're going into config and we're going to go to home and limits. Now this is set up for my particular machine, and this is where you would put in the limits of your travel. Now in my case the travel of the Z is 283. I'm going to check that in a moment because that may have altered now because I've just changed the tool. And the X, although it's saying 34 there, and although we're in diameter mode, this actually reads, it will read double that. It will read that you are minus 34 millimeter, but you also have 34 millimeter plus travel, so it's 68. Sorry, so it's 68 millimeters of travel in the X. That will become evident to you when we start operating the lathe. Now then, a couple of other things here to take note of. This here, slow zone. Now I've got this at 3 millimeters, that's what that represents. So when the axis is coming up towards a limit 3 millimeters before this figure, it will slow down. Whatever speed it's traveling, it will slow down and come to a gentle stop. This is so you don't lose any steps. And this one here, now this is the percentage of feed rate that your machine will home. Okay, I've got it set at 5%, which is very quiet, but it's okay. If you left it at 1%, well, your hair would be as grey as mine by the time you homed your machine. So it's best to raise this up to a level that you are comfortable, and this is in a percentage. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn the soft limits on. So that's done by pulling out the MPG, and there's the soft limit button there. Press it. When it comes green, then you know the soft limits are on. This is where you change your step mode, whether it's step or MPG, whether you've got an external MPG as well, or continuous, and we have it set in continuous. You can also adjust the percentage of step in here by pressing this button here, and you'll notice it changing over here too, because you can change it here as well. You can also slow your jog or raise your jog speed here, and when it comes to program speed, you can adjust the rate in which, or the percentage of which Mach3 operates the program in this area here. Okay, so we've got our soft limits on. We know how to adjust our jog speed. We know how to adjust the jog cycle, in other words the increments. And there's various other information here. This is a screen telling you how many millimeters per minute that your program's running at, or your tools are running at, and things like that. So now we're going to have a very quick look at motor tuning. Now, it was quite a complex job with this because within Mach3 Turn there is no assistance with Mach3 to give you the correct steps. So I will put in at this stage some earlier footage that I have done to work out what the steps were, and calculating it with a DTI gauge and getting it absolutely perfect. Now, today's video we are going to commission Katie, the little CNC conversion that we've been working on for the last month actually, and now there's I think 15 or 16 videos. However, I have been literally pulling my hair out with Mach3 because I have never actually used Mach3 Turn, and setting it up to stepper motors I find is a lot different to what it is for a mill. I can't actually find anywhere where Mach3 will assist you to work out the steps per, to get the right number of steps to coincide with a certain measurement if you put in Mach. I can't find it at all. Maybe someone out there can drop me a line and show me. So I've had to turn to my engineering training and do it as an engineer would do, and I'll show you what I've done. But first of all, I'll close Mach3 Turn and open up Mach3 Mill, because what I found as well is there are two separate programs within Mach3. They don't coincide with each other at all. So if you alter a setting on the Mach3 Mill, it doesn't alter the setting in Mach3 Turn. I didn't actually know that before. I do now. And to prove that, I'll just show you. If I go into, now this is Mach3 Turn, config, motor tuning, and you'll see the numbers that are set here is 465, 50 and 30. These are not correct yet. I haven't worked those out yet. I'll do it during this video. But this is absolutely correct. 465, real odd figure, for the steps per. But before we go to that, I'll take you into Mach3. Now remember what this is, 465. Now if we go into Mach3, I'll just get out of this a second, get out of that, end session, save fixtures, yes, save settings rather. Okay, so if we go into Mach3 Mill, don't show that again, that's okay, that's exactly what I'm using. And if we come up here to motor tuning, X, it's got 208,333 reoccurring. Oh, because what I did, because I couldn't find the assistance, not assistance, what is it? Let me just come out of this a second. Normally, when you're doing tuning the motors, you go into settings and come here to set steps per unit, and you choose an axis, and Mach3 will, you tell Mach3, or you want to move it a millimeter or 10 millimeters, and you measure the actual distance the axis moves, you write that into Mach, and Mach automatically sets the sets, and Mach3 automatically sets the steps per, which it did for me for this. And the resulting steps per, if I come out of this again, and the resulting steps were 208,333 recurring for the X, and for the Z it was 155. Odd figures, I thought at the time, but it was running true. It was running within 1/1000th of an inch. Happy. Okay, so we'll come out of Mach now, 3, and we'll go back into Mach3 turn. Go to manual, and we'll come up here to config, motor tuning, and you can see it's a totally different figure to make this accurate, and I'll show you how I came to these figures. So the X is, like I was saying, 465. We're not going to worry about the acceleration and the velocity yet. Okay, let's just get the steps for the motors fixed up. And Z is 173. So as you'll see in a minute, things are going to move fairly slowly, but that's what you want for when you are setting your steps for and getting the measurements absolutely right. So I'm set up for the Z axis, and I'll show you how to do it. So we come into this little window here where you can write G-code, and we're going to write the most simple G-code possible, and we're going to command the Z to move 0.5 millimeter, which is approximately 20 thou, down towards me, which is in the minus direction. So we go Z minus 0.5. Now when I press enter, it's going to move. So what I'm going to do, because the camera can't look at the screen and look at the DTI, I'm going to put you down to the DTI live. Okay, there's the DTI, meaning dial test indicator. Alright, so it's going to move exactly 0.5 millimeter. So each figure here is 1/10 of a millimeter. 1 millimeter is 1 millimeter, one rotation. That is equal to 39.5 thousandth of an inch. So this is going to move 20 thou, roughly speaking, down to this 50, which proves that the motor tuning is set correctly, as in the steps. So here we go. I'm going to press enter. So this is you want it to move very slowly and accurate. So that is perfect. I've asked it to move half a millimeter, and it is absolutely perfect. So that proves that those steps are set correctly. And you'll see it's down here twice, because the first time I pressed it I had reset flashing. I didn't realize. So and that's how you do it. So you know, you do a very, very small G-code command. Now, just to show you it wasn't a fluke or anything, I'm going to point it down. There's the DTI, and I'm going to go, the next command will be Z0, enter. Perfect. You cannot get it any better than that. It's pretty well 100% perfect. So I'm happy. Now, to get that, if I bring you back up here, sorry the camera's moving around. I'm running with one camera today. I don't really know why, but I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to alter that, you know, or how to improve on that if your machine is not very accurate. So we're in the Z. I'm just going to alter this to say, I'm just going to alter this figure to say 9. I'm going to say save axes. I'm going to OK that. I'm going to come back here again, and I'm going to ask it to move the same amount, half a millimeter. So here we go. Z minus 0.5. Take it down to the DTI. I'm going to see how much it alters. Enter. A lot. Okay, so we're going to go X minus 0.5, so it's moving away from us. Enter. And it's perfect as well. So we'll run it back. So X 0. Press enter. And it's perfect. I'm, you know, I'm very, very happy at that. Okay, we're just going to have a very quick look at to see that our soft limits are actually working. Yes, they are. Both directions. Let's check. You can actually detect the 3mm slowdown or soft stop. We should have the same in the Z as well. In actual fact, what I want to do is I want to set it so it's just nearly touching the end of the jaws here, so we can extend the travel there a little bit, I think. I'm just going to check to see by how much. Now that's looking like 3mm to me, but I'm going to say 2.5. I'm going to show you how to extend that now. So to extend that, we just simply go into config, come to home and limits. So that's going to increase that figure to 285.5. So minus 2. So it's minus 285.5. And what I normally do is press enter and press OK. So that now should be logged in theoretically. So we're going to try that again. And we'll bring it up now. And there you go. So that tool will never come in, to providing no steps are missed. That will never ever bury itself into my chuck. And at this point I would like to thank my patrons out there for their assistance, because without them this would be very difficult for me to do. And if any of you out there would like to become a patron, please pop along to my Patreon pages and I would be very grateful. That's a lot of information into I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but probably half an hour. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please press like and subscribe to my channel. And also I do have two channels. Now on a phone, if you scroll across on the toolbar and go in the About menu, listed down there is my second channel. It's called CNC Lathes and More. Also, if you're looking on a computer, the banner above my homepage of YouTube, it's over on the your right hand side. Of course, I'm looking at the camera here and everything's mirror image. Okay, so all I've got to do now is say bye for now until next time.